Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Core Set 2020 sealed video here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If the video gets to 50 thumbs up, I will post another video tomorrow. So if you want to support the channel and get access to more content at the same time, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you would like to further support the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It will give you a notification when I post future videos if you enable that option. And that way you can catch my future videos, including the video that I may be posting tomorrow. So it's just a great way to support the channel. I truly appreciate everyone who does that. We just made it to 2,000 subscribers, and as my way of celebrating, I am going to be having a Q&A. So if you have any questions for the Q&A, be sure to leave those in the comment section down below, along with any questions you may have about the sealed in general. And finally, if you would like to support the channel even more, be sure to check out the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Get access to exclusive rewards and benefits. For example, last week I posted a 1,500 word article about how to splash to my patrons. So if you want to have access to stuff like that and access to that article and stuff, be sure to check out the Patreon. But let's get into the draft. The sealed. And let's see what we've got. I do also like to post polls for my subscribers to vote in. So if you subscribe to the channel, you have access to that and can help shape the future of the channel. I asked whether they'd rather see a sealed video on MTG Arena or a draft on MTG Online, and sealed won in a landslide, so here we are. Looking at our rares, Cavalier of Dawn is a very strong rare, as is Cavalier of Thorns. They're not like the best two Cavaliers, but it's still just nice, a couple of effects. And definitely cards I'm looking to play. Leyline of Combustion, just evaluating this. 5 mana, 4/6 Vigilance is already like pretty solid. When it enters the battlefield, casting a Beast Within is just very powerful. It doesn't kill a land, but like you're never killing a land limit anyway. So killing a non-land permanent is quite good. And then when it dies, you could have like a pacifism or something random in your graveyard. So Cavalier of Dawn, quite powerful. Leyline of Combustion, not going to be good. Just comparing this to like something like Lava Axe, like you don't want to be playing cards that only deal damage to your opponent. And this doesn't even deal damage to your opponent if you top deck it later in the game. So not a very good card, and one I'm not going to be playing. Cavalier of Thorns is a relatively solid card. It's not like the best Cavalier, but like it's still great. 5 mana, 5/6 reach, enters the battlefield. You can put a land into play, sure, just good, and then you can just get some extra upside by putting another good card from your graveyard into your library, so that's good. Dungeon Geist, another great rare. The problem is all my rares are in different colors essentially, so it could be tricky. But 4 mana, 4/3, enters the battlefield, taps their creature. If it lives, it just has a huge effect on the game. 4 mana, 4/3. 4 mana for a 3/3 flyer is a pretty good rate. And the effect is definitely relevant. Rotting Regisaur, another good rare. There's a lot of removal in this set that can just kill this straight up. But if you can just get a couple hits in with this, you're just going to win the game. So Rotting Regisaur is definitely powerful. And then Repeated Reverberation. I actually said that right. Wow, I'm proud of myself. It's an okay card. You need to have good instants to pair with this. You want to have like cheap things, maybe a Shock to pair with this, because then you can use 3 Shocks for 5 mana, which is a pretty powerful effect. But it's going to be something you have to kind of build around. But let's see what we get in our commons and uncommons for sure. As I have said before, with sealed, you need to be, first of all, you want to find, if you're doing this in paper, you want to like sort your cards based on 3 categories. You go through all your colors, and then you take the best of the best and put those in the top row. And the fine cards, you put them in the middle row. And then, the good cards, the solid playables, you put in the middle row. And then the cards that you're like okay playing, but like not super happy playing, you put them in the bottom row. And that'll just give you a sense of which colors you want to be playing and things of that nature. And then it just makes the process a lot easier. It's a great organizing technique. So for example, Glaring Aegis would be either in the bottom row or a card that I didn't end up playing at all. Not really a card I'm super happy to play. +1/+3 and tapping creatures not really worth a card in most decks. Sometimes you'll be a hyper aggressive deck and your opponent won't have good removal for your creature and you'll side this in, but generally you're not going to want this type of effect because it's too easy to get 2 for 1 and doesn't have enough of an effect on the game. Loyal Pegasus, on the other hand, is quite powerful. It can't attack or block alone, but a 1 mana 2/1 flyer is just quite big, and a lot of the time you're going to have a random token lying around so it can block, and you will oftentimes have another flyer in this format, and then you can be attacking. So I am going to start with Loyal Pegasus as a rock-solid playable and put it probably in that middle category. Angelic Gift can either go in the 3rd category or just out of your deck entirely. I'm going to start with it out of my deck entirely, but when I go back through all the cards at the end, I could consider adding Angelic Gift if I need a couple more playables. Apostle Purifying Light, I actually started off very low on this card, but after listening to people, Luis and Marshall talk about it from Limited Resources, and some other players talk about it as well, I'm much higher on Apostle. Just the fact that in like 40% of your matches, because that's like roughly how often you'll play against an opponent that's playing black as one of their colors, Apostle can just be a complete house, like just dominates combat against black creatures, and I think exiling cards from a graveyard is actually surprisingly relevant, especially against the black deck. So Apostle is just quite good, and I put that in the rock style playable, and it actually goes up to a very good card against the black decks, and you'll side it out against the non-black decks. Daybreak Chaplain, a card I'm not super happy to play. 2 mana, 1/3 lifelink is just not a good enough creature, and there's not enough life gain synergies for that to matter. Disenchant is more of a sideboard card, so we're not going to be starting that. Pacifism is great. It's in the top category. 2 mana removal is just premium, and definitely a card that I'm looking to play if I end up in white. Raise the Alarm, solid card. You generally want all of your 2-drops to be like high impact 2-drops, and Raise the Alarm definitely is that. It triggers any creature synergies that you really need, like enter the battlefield. It helps with go wide themes, and Raise the Alarm overall is just a very solid common, so definitely goes in the middle category. Aerial Assault probably goes in the lower category. As I say, there's 3 categories, top, middle, and lower. Aerial Assault, it's like a removal spell that you can play. It does kill things, especially in sealed, where you want to be killing those big bombs, but it's a bit inefficient, so running 1 copy is definitely fine. So, but yeah, Rule of Law, not playable. Steadfast Sentry is just a solid playable. It's like 3 mana, 3/2, has a couple abilities. It's kind of like a combination of Wario Copy and Spinal Centipede from Guilds of Ravnica, if you remember those cards. And I was actually a fan of the Spinal Centipede, like especially compared to a lot of other people, and this is just better Spinal Centipede. So yeah, I kind of like Steadfast Sentinel. Griffin Protector, 4 mana, 2/3 flyer that can get bigger on your turn. Works really well with the Raise the Alarm we have, so we'll be playing both those. Cavalier of Dawn, I already discussed it. Definitely a great card. Dawning Angel, also a great card. 5 mana, 3/2 flyer that gains you 4 life. It's just big body, helps swing races in your favor, and I like that a lot. And then I'm not a huge fan of Squad Captain unless I have a go wide theme. I only have 1 Raise the Alarm, so that could be a bit tricky to facilitate. But definitely the type of card I would be looking to after when I'm going back through all my cards at the end. And then Herald of the Sun is definitely a good card, especially because I have a couple other flyers like this Dawning Angel, the Griffin Protectors, and the Loyal Pegasuses. So if you look at this, I don't really like to look at the lands at the beginning here. I have 13 white cards, and all of these ones are like my pretty solid white cards. Like these are just a very good base. I could definitely see white being one of my main colors. I even have a very powerful rare in the Cavalier, and a lot of just great cards, a couple removal spells. So white could definitely be one of the colors I play. Looking to blue, Fairy Miscreant, not a good card. You kind of want to have like 4 copies of it before it becomes like a solid playable. Ideally, like 5 copies, and that just doesn't happen. So it's not really a card I tend to go for in limited. Spectral Sailor, on the other hand, and we only have 1, so we're definitely not playing it. Spectral Sailor, fine card, 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, but it has late game upside, so definitely a card that I'm happy to play. And there's also flying synergies in the set. Flash can sometimes be relevant as well. Metropolis Sprite, not a card that I'm going to be starting in my deck, but if I do get some like flyer synergies, or there's like I need a way to like chip in for damage, or I really need a 2-drop, I could see running Metropolis Sprite. For example, if I'm this type of blue-white deck and I have these 2 Loyal Pegasuses, I could definitely see running the Metropolis Sprite, so that's something to keep in mind. Negate, it's a fine inclusion in the main deck in sealed a lot of the time, because there's just a lot more slower games. You'll be able to start holding this up in the late game, counter their big removal spells. There's just a lot of stuff where Negate can actually be main deckable in sealed. I'm not going to start with it in the main deck, but if I need some playables, I'll definitely consider running this in. Cloud Conceer, just excellent card. This is like top level card. 3 mana, 2/1 draw card when it enters with elemental synergies is just insane. Convolute, not a card I like to play because in the late game it doesn't counter everything you need to, and 3 mana counters are generally clunky anyway. So it's not the fact that it's not unconditional is just a real knock against it. So not going to be running Convolute. Sage's Denizen, if you have some graveyard synergies of your own, keep in mind you can target yourself, which is a nice little upside, but generally a 3 mana 2/3, not where you want to be in sealed. Warden of Evil Zio, 3 mana 2/2 flyer is just already a good rate, and then it works really well with these other white flyers that I potentially have, or if I'm in blue, like the Cloud Conceer and stuff, so I wouldn't mind running the Warden. Winged Words, it's like better Divination, and Divination's already a good card in sealed, so happy to run that. Dungeon Geist, of course, excellent, as I mentioned before. Sleep Paralysis, just a removal spell in blue. It doesn't work well against some of like the like bounce spells, like they can bounce their own creature, but Sleep Paralysis is generally pretty powerful. And then Wave Crasher, just nice with enters the battlefield effects. Things like the Cloud Conceer, maybe the Cavalier of Dawn, Dawning Angel, that type of thing. It would be a nice little pairing with those things. It's just generally a card I've been happy with, and if your opponent ever plays Pacifism. So if you look at this is like 21 cards. So if we did want to play blue, we would probably put in the Metropolis Sprite and the Negate, and then we could play a nice little blue-white deck. And this looks like a pretty solid build. So we'll just look at these for now, but we're going to, of course, be checking out the other colors. If we look at our black cards, Duress, not a card you want to be main decking. The problem with Duress is, even though if you play it on turn 1, you're like, wow, I know all about their hand, I can take their good best card. Duress is a horrific top deck, and it also has a relatively high likelihood of missing in Limited because there's just so many more creatures. So if your opponent's deck is 17 lands and, like, say, 15 creatures, that leaves 8 spells. So there's just a high likelihood that your opponent's not going to have one of those in their hand, and then your Duress whiffs and you lose the game. Sanitarium Skeleton, not a card I've been super impressed with. It does okay in certain decks. It's a nice combination with Rotting Regisaur, for example. So you kind of have to have a reason to play it outside of just playing it. But in the right deck, it can do okay, but just not a card I'm super high on generally. Bladebrand, it's okay in this set. I've been kind of disappointed with it because there's a lot of instant speed removal that can really wreck it. But especially as a sideboard card against big green decks, it can do good work. And I wouldn't mind running a main deck copy. Sorcerer of the Fang, I've not been happy with. It just, there's the 2/2s in this set, like, generally don't care about Sorcerer of the Fang for various reasons. For example, there'll be something like Audacious Thief, or there'll be something like Gorging Vulture. So they'll just dodge the Sorcerer of the Fang, so he's not a relevant blocker. And he doesn't block a lot of the other creatures because they're just 3/3s, or they're, and then the 6-mana ability just doesn't come up, so I don't like Sorcerer of the Fang. Audacious Thief is a fine card, but if you just look at my black cards, I don't really have a good reason to be black. Rotting Regisaur is kind of like the only, like, insane card in black. I also have the Audacious Thief. I think Gorging Vulture is quite good. The Self-Mill can be very relevant, especially for setting up soul salvages. The life gain can also help you out when you're trying to stabilize, but overall, there's not really a reason for me to be black. Barony Vampire is just a vanilla 3/2, not very good. Unholy Indenture, people have been asking me about this card. They like, oh, you can put this on your opponent's creature and then use your removal spell on it. But the problem is that's very clunky. It also requires you to start saving your removal spells. Like, you draw your removal spell without drawing the Unholy Indenture, and you're like, well, now if I draw Unholy Indenture, it's useless if I use this removal spell, so I'm going to save my removal spell and just put you in an awkward spot. So Unholy Indenture, just play your strong removal spells. Don't play a bad card to try to make your good removal spell a little bit better. And then Agonizing Siphon is a card I like quite a bit. It's the type of card that you could potentially splash if you had good fixing for it, but I'm not going to be trying to do that. I'm just going to be playing potentially a blue-white Flyers deck. But I just generally don't have enough good black cards. Like, if I played all my good black cards, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So I definitely can't play black here. It's just not worth it. Going into red, Reckless Airstrike is definitely more of a sideboard card. Even though there are a decent number of flyers, a lot of the flyers have like 4 toughness. Like, the bigger flyers have like 4 toughness, so it doesn't even kill all flyers. And there's not a ton of artifacts running around, but it's definitely a solid sideboard card for sure. Shock, just premium removal. Cheap interaction is always at a something you really want in Limited, and this can really help you stabilize the early game if you're a slower deck. So definitely would be running Shocks. Ember Hauler, another great card. It's like Shock on a stick, as they say. You do want to have a heavy red to make this truly great. Like, you want to have like 10 mountains potentially, but Ember Hauler definitely has potential. So I would definitely run both those. Goblin Bird Grabber, I'm less of a fan. It can gain flying, which gives it a little bit of utility, but generally not the powerful 2-drop I'm looking for. This gives me a nice segue into a point I want to make, is that in Sealed, you want all of your 2-drops to be high impact cards. So for example, this Apostle of Purifying Light can like single-handedly swing a game if I'm against the black deck. That's the type of 2-drop you want to be playing. This Metropolis Sprite works with a Loyal Pegasus that I might want to be running, which is just a high impact thing in my deck. Ember Hauler can become a removal spell. These are the 2-drops you want. You don't just want to be playing random 2-drops like Sorcerer of the Fang or Daybreak Javelin in Limited. I'm not in Limited, in Sealed specifically, because in Sealed you need to plan for the late game, and a lot of the time your late game, you're going to get to the late game because Sealed is a slower format, and you don't want to be drawing useless 2-drops that don't do anything. You want to be drawing high impact 2-drops that are like Shocks or Flying or Protection from Black type stuff. So we're not going to be playing the Goblin Bird Grabber, even though it can game Flying in the late game if you have other flyers. I just don't think it's high enough impact to be worth running. Maniacal Rage, not playable in this format. The removal is too good, and overall, you just can't afford to be putting this effect in your deck. There's also Unsummon, which also just completely punishes it. Chandra Spitfire, another card I'm not a fan of. The problem is you're not dealing non-combat damage to your opponent before combat starts. So this is just a 3-mana 1/3 flyer, and that just isn't really a card you want to be playing in Limited. Chandra's Outrage, a good removal spell, just very efficient, kills a lot of things. It's not like insanely efficient, but 4 mana for 4 damage is good, and the 2 damage to the face is actually relevant. Keldon Raider, a card I do like, helps you filter through your deck, find you what you need. and 4 power for 4 mana is pretty good. Repeated Reverberation. Since I have 2 negates, seems like the type of card that I could run if I ran red. So we'll check that out. Don't want Tectonic Rift. Just generally not a card I'm interested in. I would sometimes run 1 copy out of the sideboard for a particular matchup, but I'm not going to be main decking that ever. We already talked about the Leyline. We're not going to play that. Reduced Ashes, you can play that as a 1-of, just a fine removal spell. And then Dragon Mage in sealed, I think, is okay. You can generally like work a situation where this is a little bit better, but let's just take that and see put that in and see what happens. So if we look at our red cards, we have a removal spell, we have a couple of removal spells, we have 2 shocks, 2 Ember Haulers, the couple of removal spells, but we don't generally have a great reason to be red. Like, sure, we have like a couple of removal spells, but they're like generally small removal spells for creatures that you don't really care about as much in sealed. You don't really care about this killing cheaper creatures as much. Like, you still want to have shock is still a good card, but killing their like 2/2 is not as important in sealed because they're just not running a super curve out deck usually. So you don't need to be like prioritize having a turn 1 shock to kill their 2-drop, that type of thing. So I don't think I'm going to be playing red here. I just don't see my red cards being strong enough. They're also all double red, like a lot of my best ones, so it just makes it hard. So let's just cut these cards, and I also really like the blue-white Flyers deck that I kind of have going, so I'm kind of have to see something pretty good to give up on that. In green, Sedge Scorpion, Death Touch is just a really good ability to have on a cheap 1/1. It's always going to be pretty relevant in combat. Your opponent's going to have to trade a real card for it, and Sedge Scorpion is also just really good with Rabbit Bite, which is one of the commons in green. So this is a card you shouldn't be sleeping on. Greenwood Sentinel, on the other hand, not a card I'm happy to be playing. 2 mana 2/2 Vigilance, just not a good enough 2-drop, especially for sealed. It doesn't clear that bar that we were discussing earlier. Leafkin Druid does. There aren't a ton of great 4-drops to ramp into, but just getting a nice 2 mana 0/3, it can block a little on the ground, and then ramping up to your expensive cards is really good, especially in sealed, so I would be playing that. Plummet, not a main deckable card in my opinion in this format, because even though there are a lot of Flyers, there's just better ways to deal with Flyers, and then some decks just don't have that many Flyers. Even if your opponent's deck has 2 Flyers in it, if you draw your Plummet and your opponent just doesn't draw one of their 2 Flyers, you're just in trouble, so you don't really want to be main decking Plummet in my opinion. Centaur Courser, I think actually is a fine card to play. It just matches up well against a lot of the stats. There's a lot of 2/2s and there's a lot of 3/3s. So Centaur Courser shuts down all the 2/2s and trades with all the 3/3s. A lot of those 3/3s are 4-drops. So Centaur Courser I think is quite a fine card to play. Fail Invocation's a fine 1-of. It can just do good work. Win you a combat and leave you with a big creature. So I like that. Ferocious Pup I've not been super impressed with, but there are decks that will want this type of effect if they can use the extra body. So if you have like a Bone Splinters, which is black mana, sacrifice a creature, destroy a creature, you will want to play Ferocious Pup because the 0/1's actually relevant. If you're running Marauder's Axe, which can give a creature +2/+0 as an equipment, Ferocious Pup gets a little bit better because you can use the 0/1 body. You need to have a way to use the 0/1 body, but if you do, then it can be a little bit better than you might think. Loaming Shaman, fine card for like getting your removal spells back in your deck. Just a 3-drop you'll always be like relatively happy playing, but it's not like insane or anything like that. And then Cavalier of Thorns, it's a pretty good card, but it's not like a bomb or anything. And I mean, it's not like the greatest bomb ever. It's like still like a pretty good card, but like it's not like the same level as some of the other Cavaliers. Like 5 mana 5/6 reach is like a good card, but it's kind of hard to cast, and like you're getting a land, which is nice, but it's not like you're getting a creature, and then when it dies you put a good card on top of your library, you don't even draw it. So like, yeah, it's just not like insane. It's not going to pull me into green over the blue-white stuff I already have. It's not as good as Cavalier of Dawn, I don't think. And then Silverback Shaman's great. 5 mana 5/4 trample that draws a card when it dies is just excellent. I'm very happy playing that. And then we have a couple of Gainlands. I don't think we would definitely play these. Those are like top tier cards still. Like they're still in the highest level, but we're not going to be playing green, I don't think. We have like a couple of like fine green cards, but we don't have like enough to really make a good deck, and I think that our blue-white deck is just very solid. And then if we wanted to splash, let's see, okay, Diamond Knight. Enter the battlefield, choose a color. When you cast a spell, a chosen color, put a +1/+1 counter on Diamond Knight. I kind of want to try out Diamond Knight. He seems pretty solid. So yeah, and then let's think. Pattern Matcher can get a second Loyal Pegasus or a second Griffin Protector. That seems good enough to me. Also just a 4 mana 3/3. And then there's a Pingering Wand, which I don't think is good enough. I don't think we really want that. But Diamond Knight's a card I want to try. Let's see, what's our color requirements? We have 13 white. Let's just see the number of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 white cards, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 blue cards. So we could just name white and just make Diamond Knight like a 3-mana 3/3 Vigilance eventually. I kind of want to try him out. He could just be too slow though. I don't want the pinging effect. I don't need the Vial of Dragonfire. I already have 2 pacifisms and sleep paralysis. But yeah, this is looking pretty good to me. We'll just make some last minute cuts. We don't really want these. I don't think we want the Angelic Gift even though it does give flying. The Fairy Miscreant's definitely not good enough. Okay, so let's look. I like this guy. I like this guy. Apostle's a fine 2-drop. I like Metropolis Sprite because of the 2 Loyal Pegasuses. Negate's probably a card that I could cut. Let's just cut the Negate for now. All these cards are pretty solid. I kind of want to try out the Diamond Knight. I haven't gotten to play with it yet. Pattern Matcher is definitely a card I could cut as well. Just with only a couple cards it works with. I think it's been pretty good for me. Even just a 4-mana 3/3 is a solid body in the format, and it holds the ground decently. It's also an artifact to get back, so that's like a pretty big gain. And I do have a lot of enchantments too. I have 2 pacifisms and sleep paralysis, so that's good. And the Diamond Knight's also a card I can get back with Cavalier. I think that makes those good enough to play. Let's just put the Cavalier as our art, of course. What's my worst card here, though? Wave Crasher works with not really a ton of stuff. It works with the Cloud Conceer. It's also just a 4-mana 4/4 a lot of the time. Let's just cut the Wave Crasher. No, I want the Wave Crasher. It's just so good against pacifisms. And stuff like that. This is a tough, tricky last cut. We have a decent number of removal spells. I like all my 2-drops here. Let's look at our curve. 17 creatures. We could cut a creature. And this is also a creature. I kind of want to try out all these cards, though. Wave Crasher could just be a complete whiff for us. Yarok's Waters Rush and Rage, where armies bled into the sand. Lament for Balaged, stanza 2. I remember Balaged. There was a card called Bane of Balaged back in Battle for Zendikar. If you got that reference, let me know in the comments, but yeah. Yep. Okay, I like all these cards. I think it has to be the Yarok's Wave Crasher that goes. Yeah, let's just cut it. And then if one of our other cards doesn't perform, we can just cut those. But now let's add lands. So we're going to want to have... There's also a blue card, and we want to skew towards white. I think we're going to go 9/8 in favor of white, which is kind of a tough sell because we do have a double blue 4-drop, but maybe we even want to go 10/7. Yeah, let's go 10/7. Search basic lands. Let's choose a cool artwork for a land. I love this plains. This is like my favorite plains. Yeah, let's go with that. And then islands. There's a lot of cool island options. Wow, why is it so hard to pick an island? Oh my gosh, this is cool. That looks sweet. I know this shouldn't be... Oh, I like this one. Let's go. Okay, let's go 10/7. Because we have white 1-drops, we have way more white cards, and also we have a triple white card that we want to be able to cast on curve. So yeah, let's run it like this. Hopefully it works out, and yeah, let me know if you found that helpful. If there's any cards you have any questions on, let me know in the comments for sure. But yeah, I'm liking my chances here. Maybe the 3-mana artifact is the worst card. That card definitely is one I wanted to test out. I think having artifacts to get back with my Cavalier is definitely good, but I could totally see the guy not being very effective. I think I'll cut him after this round for the Yarok's Wave Crasher. He's just a really bad top deck. This is a good hand. We're going to keep this one. Wow, choosing your basic land art is so empowering. Did I pick the wrong island? I did pick the wrong island. I'm ashamed. Why did I pick the wrong island? I totally selected the right one. Okay, we have our Warden of Evo's Isle into Griffin Protector, into Steadfast Sentry. Wow. The fact that I don't even want to cast him on turn 3 is a bad sign. Well, now if we draw land, we can go Metropolis Sprite and Griffin Protector in the same turn. That's insane value. Okay, so let's just play, since this guy's going to be blocking me anyway, let's just play this guy. Name White. And then we can get this guy into play. Okay. We just need a pacifism or something for this. We're not going to get too greedy here. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. This Diamond Knight could get big. He's already kind of a 5/5. Maybe he's better than I thought. Maybe he's worth playing. You never know. Cavalier of Thorns. Does this guy have reach? He does have reach. So they got... Oh, they're main decking Plummet. Of course they are. Interesting. Oh, he puts them into the graveyard. That's cool. I didn't realize that part. Reach. Okay. So let's just play some white cards. And then next turn we can play Apostle and exile a couple of his relevant threats. No attack. Things from, not threats, but things from the graveyard. So that when this dies, he can't really put anything from his graveyard on top. Opponent has 5 cards in hand. We have 4 flyers in play. They are well suited for this matchup, it looks like. I am not liking my chances here. Well, there's a pacifism. But, like, what do I even pacifism? Like this? I guess so. It's got reach and everything. We'll trade this for an air elemental. We're fine with that. Wow. He makes the trade. That's a good trade for us, I think. I considered waiting so that those could attack. But I want to start getting rid of these cards in his graveyard so that if he has a way to get rid of this guy. Well, that's really bad for me. Yarok's Wavecrasher dominating me. Oh, man. Of course it is. Oh, that's brutal. That's just absolutely a beating. We are not winning this game, folks. It's not looking good for us. We'll definitely trade one of them off. Now we're like one pacifism away from being able to attack with all of our flyers. This is a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Why does my opponent just have anti-flyer .deck? I guess because there's a lot of flyers, but like still, this is brutal. Yarok's Wavecrasher destroyed me. Okay. Okay. Just get rid of the Netcaster spiders. In case my opponent has a way to get back creature from the graveyard. This thing's also going to draw him a card. Next we'll get rid of Plummet, I guess. We just need another way to deal with the Cavalier. Then we'll be all set. He has the Blightwood tracker, but we have a lot of flying power. And that guy's useless. We have a lot of flying power. No blocks. Decision paralysis. Okay, not good. Not good here. We still play our lands because we have winged words in our deck. Why does this have to have reach? Irritating. Ugh. How about I draw my Cavalier? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This guy's deck is like the bane of my life. Yeah, I probably should have seen that coming. But like, if he has like different combat tricks, like just putting more blockers in the way doesn't necessarily make sense. No reason not to exile his graveyard. Just make Cavalier Thorns worse. Okey-doke. We are going to gain a lot of life. We're just going to hope he attacks with this, potentially. No, or this. So my opponent has 10 cards left in their deck. This is a scenario where I think I have a couple plummets in my board, and so I might just consider changing colors. Well, this is a bummer. So 9, 13, 19, 24 power, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I'm dead no matter what I do. Ouch. That was just rough. Maybe Flyers decks just aren't good, but I feel like my deck is pretty solidly constructed. Let's see, what did I not like? I don't love Diamond Knight. I think Diamond Knight, I'm just going to play the Yark, I think. Yark, yeah, I just didn't draw my best cards, I don't think. I could have definitely done better there. Let's cut Diamond Knight for a Wave Crasher. Just a bigger creature consistently. Has a lot of upside. Hoses pacifism effects. Yeah, I'm not sad about that. I feel like that game was definitely a game we could have won. We have a lot of draws that are a little bit better than what we had, and also my opponent just randomly had like 10,000 cards that hated on what I was doing. Like, if they don't have that Yarok's Wave Crasher, I think we just can chip in enough to win. So, it happens. It is the nature of best of one. But I'm trying out new cards. Hopefully the strategy is sound, I mean. We will keep this hand. A couple winged words. Hopefully we can hit our third land. Oh, I forgot to change my island art. That's sad. Definitely want to flash this in so that if I use winged words, I don't have to discard to hand size. Also, you never know when 2 damage is going to be relevant. My opponent probably also has raised the alarm. Oh, hello, loyal Pegasus. You work well with this winged words. Drawing more cards. Fueling the fire. Wow, that's actually quite nice. Now if I draw on a swamp, I can play this. I think I would trade one of these tokens for 3 damage. I'm winning the race. I trade half of one of my cards for 3 damage, which is, I think, worth it in the long run. I don't really want to have to use my removal spells on these guys. No blocks. Kind of surprised they didn't trade that. We'll save this for if they have any of the reach spiders, those annoyances. Two attackers. We send my opponent to 8, and then I have lethal next turn. Flyers definitely seem pretty legit. Watch them just have Plummet, just main deck again. I'm not sad, like, it's not like too bad for me if they do, but like, it would be kind of sad. This 10-7 split not really working for my double blue card. Yeah, I don't care about the Moorland Inquisitor at all. I have 2 removal spells. I think 10-7 split is still correct, though. If I drew my triple white card, I want to be able to cast it on turn 5. Rabid Bite, okay. I'm only slightly sad. They need to be attacking with this 4/4. That is not an attack that screams I'm winning the game. Perfect. More planes is always good. Let's pacifism this so that we can play the Griffin Protector as well. If he doesn't block, then my Loyal Pegasus is lethal on its own. So yeah, this is good for me. Okay, so if my opponent just did anything, we might have just sleep paralysis this in addition, so that even if they had like an enchantment removal spell, and like something else, we didn't just lose, but we got the W, the old victory. And now we're back. Oh, I almost forgot to make the most crucial change to our deck. This change is something that we must remedy. This land must be corrected. We wanted this basic land, because this one is prettier. If you're going to be staring at a basic land, it might as well be the one that you like. So now we're 1-1. We're back in the mix. Up that positive record, because positive records are the best. My favorite, clearly. I sometimes can't even comprehend why anyone would want to not have a positive record. Patrick Cow. Face my wrath. Okie doke. We'll keep this hand. We have a Metropolis Sprite into a Winged Words. And these islands are just so refreshing. Hey, we both have cats. I've not been messing with him too much, but I love cats. Cats are so cool. And this cat is no exception. Metropolis Sprite just does a lot of good things in this deck, I think. It's worth an inclusion. Ooh, blue cat, because we have an island. Hopefully we hit a land so we can just play Cloud Conceer and just start curving out best. I like best. Like, so we can go 3-drop, 4-drop. But Winged Word to hit our land drop is not an end of the world scenario. Wave Crasher, sure. Goes well if my opponent has like a pacifism or something. Hopefully we hit a plains here. We are doing all of the things. We're really going to town here. Perfect curve out. All flying. No blockers. My opponent might struggle to deal with this. Wow, he killed the 2-1 instead of the 2-3. That is odd to me. Let's play the Griffin Protector, and then next turn we can double creature up. I would play it pre-combat to pop our guy, but next turn we can make both these guys into 4/5s by going this guy plus this guy. Or even, yeah. And the turn after, we can go Wave Crasher and Spectral Sailor again for even more damage. Scampering Scorcher, sure. Boom. Now we have him basically dead. We just block this. We just need to make sure we don't die too. Oh gosh. Game might be equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of planeswalkers you control. Land me, perfect. We're going to bounce Spectral Sailor, or we could just pump up the Metropolis Sprite. But I think bouncing Spectral Sailor is better, because then if we get to know, because bouncing Spectral Sailor, we replay it, then we have 8 damage guaranteed, so we don't have to lose to like a shock or something. Well, that was a classic victory. It's all because we changed our island art. All because of that. You have to really customize your land base. It's ironic because in paper when I play, I just go to the land station and pick whatever lands there are. Actually, that's not quite true. I sometimes try to pick the most like oldest land I can find because I think those ones look kind of cool or wonky or something, just to tilt my opponent. If there's white bordered lands in the land station, I always go for those ones because white borders are hilarious. Chronomancer, prepare to meet your doom. The arrow you are grabbing is no match for the axe that my character is already holding. Okay, another great curve out here, even on the draw. This is an excellent hand. Just have so much flying. Ooh, it's a black deck. Perfect. Our apostle is live, boys and girls. Sorcerer of the Fang. Useless Sorcerer. That's his nickname. I've heard him referred to. Oh, we even have triple white now. Oh, so good. My opponent attacks. I think I probably block anyway. Wow, that was a bad mill. So I could get in 1 point of damage, or I have to like waste my turn. I'm just gonna not take a chance. I'm just gonna play the Cloud Conceer. No attacks. Could have maybe forced through a point of damage, but it's not worth it. Because if we have to waste our turn, it's just catastrophic. Let's block. Sure, hooray. Okie doke. Let's get the Griffin Protector out there. I'd say. All attack. And then we can play Dawning Angel. Yarok's Fenlurker. Let's get rid of the Loyal Pegasus. We don't really have a good opportunity to play it. Murder. Okay. And we will attack with our Metropolis Sprite because we're not going to block this. Then we'll get our Herald of the Sun into play. Ravenous Dragon. All the Sorcerers of the Fang. So I kind of just want to play Herald of the Sun. And then pass. No attacks. And then next turn I can Sleep Paralysis, hit my opponent for a bunch. But they currently don't have a good attack. Unless, of course, they top deck Murder or something, which would be really brutal. This card is so bad in multiples. I can't imagine ever playing more than one copy. Because this exact scenario happens that just doesn't do anything. Well, this is a nightmare. Shoot. So I suspect, what could he have? He could have +3/+2, in which case blocking here is better. He could have, I'm going to use Decision Paralysis on this anyway. He could have Blade Brand. Kind of just want to block like this. Also kind of considering blocking like this. And then finally, I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to block here. This plays around +3/+2. Oh, Fathom Fleet Cutthroat it is. Okay. Sure. Yep. So, it's fine. Yeah, let's just kill his 3/3 with this card, because it's more flexible there. Gain a couple life. And then attack for 5. We'll take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the crackback. But then next turn I'm going to get my Wave Crasher in, and it'll all be good. I was really hoping my opponent would just whiff for a draw step. Sure. Yep. Attack with both. Wave Crasher my Metropolis Sprite. Replay the Metropolis Sprite. Pseudo Vigilance. So good. And now I have my opponent on a 2-turn Aerial Clock, and they have me on a 4-turn clock with their Sorcerers of the Fang. They might consider suicide attacking to get me to 6, so it's a 3-turn clock. We'll pump him now. Let's just get the pattern matcher into play. If they're spending their mana on the Sorcerer of the Fang, sure, decline. We will shuffle our deck. And we'll save the Sleep Paralysis because it essentially has an immediate impact, because we could potentially remove a block or attack with everything and kill my opponent if he has to make an aggressive attack here. Also if he has like a flyer of his own or something. Well, that's a nightmare. Okay. Okay, that was beautiful. Can't attack or block. This thing can get 3 power, but not if you can activate this. So I want to be able to attack with all my creatures. And he'll have to chump block with both of his sorcerers. So hopefully he doesn't have the agonizing card. And if he does have it, hopefully he doesn't draw it this turn. But if he does, it happens. Boom! We get the win. Agonizing Siphon just can deal 3 to any target and I would die. Boom. After a brief stumble in the first round. Wave Crash is just a big creature, too. Yup. Our deck is curving out, playing as we intended it to play. Really enjoying this. Okie doke. We have found our opponent. Our worthy foe, Wata. I am actually drinking Wata right now. So get wrecked, Wata. Oh my gosh. Our hands have just been so good. Hopefully, oh, are we on the play? I don't think so. Yeah, we are on the play. Let's go. Warden of Evo's Isle is a beast in our deck. Oh, this Metropolis sprite has been an absolute house. Just turn 2 every game. Homing beacon here. Blood Burglar, eh? So the Blood Burglar is going to get in for a hit here before we get our Griffin Protector down. Oh, nice land draw there. Get rid of that guy. You don't want to trade off the Warden, that's for sure. Ooh, my opponent missed a land. Well, that's a good draw. Let's go with Winged Words first, because we'd rather get the Griffin Protector into play if we can. Wow, this is just going swimmingly. It's Air Elemental. It's a build your own Air Elemental. Let's bring your Air Elemental to school day. Oh, dope. We are rolling on all cylinders. If they bluff attacked with Blood Burglar, I don't think I can justify a block there. 2, 4, 5, 9. Hey, that's game. We got him. This guy gets pumped up. This guy we could have killed him without the Raise the Alarm, but got him. Let's go. Like, we wouldn't have needed to block this. Heck yes. Our deck is insane. Hopefully people didn't stop watching after the first game where we lost and it looked really bad, because that was just a really bad matchup, clearly. Because now we're just like absolutely dominating everyone. Metropolis Sprite is just hitting them for like 500 damage every game. It's insane. Really liking this. I also am very proud of myself because I figured out a setting on my computer where like I changed one small setting and my computer uses like 20% less of its processing. So we're keeping this. This is not a coward recording. I would say coward stream, but I'm not streaming this right now. I think I will be able to stream very soon again. I haven't been able to stream over the summer because I don't really have internet at my house. Don't ask me how that works, but I basically don't have internet at my house, so I can't really stream. I could just do recordings. But I think I've got access to the internet for like a week or two, so coming up in a couple days. So then I'll be able to stream and interact with all you folks live. So let's change our cat. We want the blue cat. Oh, yes. Oh, I like this. It's just a fun thing to click while you're waiting. Green cat. I guess since we have a lot of white cards in hand, we'll just use the white cat. We're playing against a blue deck. We will wait on Raise the Alarm. Got little hearts. It's so cute. Get on my level, piranhas. Oh, yes. This can kill any non-land permanent. No attacks. So let's attack with this guy. If he trades, we'll put the counter onto our Griffin, I think. Now our Griffin is truly formidable. Spinal Okapi doing good work over here. Or Wary Centipede. I think Spinal Okapi. I don't even know. Oh my goodness. Sleep paralysis, you monster. It's controller, so let's just go with wait, non-land permanent, okay. Can play the Cavalier at some point here. And I can kill my own Griffin Protector to get a 3/3. Alternately, I can kill my opponent's sleep paralysis. Let us kill the sleep paralysis. Actually, us getting a 3/3 seems a little bit better. Because we get a 3/3 instead of getting our 3/4 and giving our opponent a 3/3. Given that we still have a pacifism here, should be pretty good. Dungeon guys say, that's really annoying. Color me annoyed. Rabbit bite, oh gosh. Huh. Bone splinters, eh? Playing our 4-mana 3/3. Could have been able to get it back. We'll take action. Let's just shuffle our deck. No attacks. So we have a pacifism and a Herald of the Sun to draw. If we draw land, so we're in great shape here. And if this thing ever trades off, we get our 3/3 back. Of course, my opponent ripped a Winged Words right off the top, because they are a luck sack. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. This guy is just the luckiest guy I've ever seen. Wow, he's not scared at all. Wow, I cannot believe my opponent drew a winged words there. That was so brutal. We were in such good shape, and then my opponent had it all. They had it all. What is it like, opponent? One day I'll understand. Just give me my winged word so I can kill this Dungeon Geist. Here. Okay. Okay. I see you, opponent. What? That is so terrifying. I know I'm terrified of that. Yarok? More planes. Not ideal. Kind of want to pacifism that. I'm holding back on defense. I think that's good. And we just need to find our own value engine so we can compete with Blightwood Tracker. Even another flyer would do it, so we could just start using our Herald of the Sun. Yeah, rock. This could be a game that we lose. We did get pretty fortunate with our land draws at certain times, but I'm looking for a little bit more than just some lands here. We need to get a flyer ASAP. Metropolis Sprite, I'm summoning you. I choose you. Well, that's useless. Well, it's got protection from Yarok, so we at least have unlimited blocking on that. That's actually kind of neat. I don't think we want to use our pacifism on a Cloudkins here. End turn. We will just start exiling my opponent's graveyard, I guess. Gosh darn it. Why do they have to have that card? None of our removal touches that card. I mean, we have that card. The problem is we have a lot of late game engines in our deck, but we just don't draw them in this spot. Like, we have Electro Sailor, we have a lot of flyers that would go with the Herald of the Sun, but we just not drawing them. Oh, this is a nightmare. Opponent's drawing 3 cards a turn. We're stuck with our 1. It all went off the rails. We were so favored, I think, when my opponent just had a Dungeon Geist and we had a Pacifism and a Herald of the Sun in our hand. And they just ripped a Winged Words to just dominate us. Get rid of creatures here. In case they have Soul Salvage or something. Oh yes, Loyal Pegasus, let's go. You are going to be the biggest Loyal Pegasus of all time. Now that I can start pumping up this Loyal Pegasus, I can start attacking. Oh no. Oh my gosh, so he gets 2 triggered abilities. Oh my gosh, my opponent is doing the sweetest things I've ever seen. He's gaining double life off his Scoured Barons. Jeez. Let's just hope my opponent decks himself. Holy heck. The Lotus Field. Maybe my opponent just doesn't have any more removal. We just have a bunch of meaningless activated abilities. Let's get rid of Rapid Bite in case they have a Scholar of Stars or something, or whatever that card's called. Not Scholar of Stars, the Scholar of, the 7 mana 3/3. We need to draw another flyer. Yarok's Wavecrasher, eh? That's so sad. Actually, it's not that sad at all. We can return the Pattern Matcher and then use that to get rid of Pegasus. Opponent's going to use their Golos. Hopefully my opponent decks himself, like just doesn't have enough stuff to get the job in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lands. They have 6 lands left of their, like, 10 cards. 5 lands left. Oh, Meteor Golem. We're screwed. We are in trouble. There's trouble in River City. Whoa, they're killing the Apostle? That's weird. Oh no, they get to kill both because of this stupid Yarok. Oh, this is a catastrophe. Them getting 2 triggers off this because of their Yarok is insane. Double ETB. Oh no, did they just hit 2 murders off of their Golos? Yeah, it's scoop time. That was absolutely brutal. Wow. Could I just catch a break in that game? Whew. Sometimes there's games like that. Wow, that was a lot of prizes for one round, I guess. Wow. Yeah, sometimes games like that just happen. My opponent's deck was sweet. They had like 10 times as many gain lands as they should have in a statistical sealed pool. They had like 5 of them. At least it looked like they had like 5. Shiny Pants. Okay. Well, this hand is fantastic. We're actually going to start with the Spectral Sailor, because Loyal Pegasus can't attack by himself anyway. In response, Spectral Sailor. A land is actually a good draw there. Could I just draw like a even mix of islands and plains? I need to be able to cast my triple white cards. I would love a 3-drop this turn though. Yeah, no 3-drop is a little bit sad, but I had a pretty decent start, so I'm getting the pressure in there. Oh no, not the Netcaster Spider. No attack. No attack. Oh dear. Oh no. This is not looking good. If he trades, this is really good for me, because now my other guys can start attacking. And Dawning Angel will make sure I can't lose a race. If I can hit 2 planes, I can get my Cavalier as well, which would be key. Clutch, as they say. But this Risen Reef is terrifying. Oh no. Oh no, this is where the rails start to come off of the entire operation. Ugh. Oh dear. So much value. Give me a plains right here, deck. Sure. We have a lot of spells. We're not going to be activating that anytime soon. No blocks. My opponent was really scared of that Spectral Sailor, maybe. So this is not. So then next turn I can maybe kill them. So play our Griffin Protector. They have 3, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. So they can't even kill me. Oh, they can kill me if they have double growth as their last 2 cards. But I would probably block Frostlinks. But I have lethal because I have 7, 5, 9, exactly in the air. With a sleep paralysis backup. Oh no, drawn from dreams. Please no. This is why we run 10 planes, so we can play our Cavalier and feel safe. But we do not feel safe. Oh no. Please no rabbit bites. Anticipate. Okay, okay. I'm liking the look of this. We will pet our cat. Give us good luck. he's now blue cat. Blue cat is lucky. At least so far he is lucky. Yes! Blue cat! Thank you, blue cat. I knew that I could trust you, blue cat. The blue cat is our key to victory, folks. Oh, yes. Lightning Stormkin. How many? Ooh, we get 1,600. Oh, this is 2,000. Oh, man. We are rolling in the dough. So many gems. You know what they say about gems. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That actually has nothing to do with gems at all. That's just a saying. I like sayings, though. Sayings are some of my favorite things to say. Wow, I sound like a crazy person right now. The ramblings of 2 a.m. You know how it is. And I've been having to record my videos late at night. But content must go on. I'm just, yeah, I really like making videos for all you folks and do them whenever I can. Oh boy. Oh, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, pacifism. Oh, so good. Oh, and my opponent's mulliganing. Poor Schmucky. Poor Schmucky. It's all in the lands, folks. Hello. Did they say good game? Let's say good game to them. The premature good game has been called by both sides. Nice. Oh man, this guy emotes a lot. We're not going to mute him. He's having fun. Thinking. Get wrecked, mate. We're curving out on you, mate. Bro, get wrecked. Oh, man. Frost Lynx. Winged words. Pacifisming of that seems a little bit aggro. Especially because our Steadfast Sentinel will just do good work against it. So we will wait. Especially because Dungeon Geist also does good work against it in general. I don't know. I feel good about this. Oh, yeah. Yes. So let's just use our Dungeon Geist on the Octoprophet. No, on the Frost Lynx. Oh, yes. Sweet, sweet Dungeon Geists. Tap that. Attack with these two. Play the Pegasus. Because we'd rather Pacifism the Octoprophet in the long run. Because it's like a bigger, scarier card. Also, if he's going to trade, we'd rather he trades the Steadfast with the Octoprophet. Gorgeous Vulture, sure. Ha, you only gained 1 life. That is what many would call a noob mistake. Let's just attack with these 3. We're fine trading this. Because we just want to get our Griffin Protector into play here. And we'll put the counter onto one of our tokens. Because next turn... Actually, let's just do this now. This just puts maximum power into play. Wow, that was actually horrific. Excellent tapping, auto-tapper. You managed to screw me. Oops. Oops indeed. Opponent understands my pain, my suffering, my sadness. auto tapper. If I lose by 1 point of damage, I swear. Ferocious pup. Okay. Sure. Oh, this is good. I'm feeling optimistic. Sure, we have pacifism for that one. And our apostle is going to be pro-black, which is kind of awesome. Good game, matey. Boom. No, I didn't get to flash in the Spectral Sailor. No! Oh, man. We wanted that extra Spectral Sailor value. He could have ended the game in play if we hadn't tapped, like, buffoons. I'll take the blame for that. Ooh, we made back all of our gems, and we get to keep all the cards of so much value. Basically infinite. I mean, I'm not worried about going infinite on Arena. It's not that difficult. You just have to get to 7 wins in your best of 1 sealeds. We just gotta get this W, folks. If you did make it to this point in the video, in the comments, let me know if you think that we'll win this match. If we'll get to 7 wins, type hashtag 7 wins. If you don't think, say hashtag just short or something like that, you know, fun stuff. I don't know, you don't actually have to type that in the comments. Just curiosity sometimes. Oh, yes. Just need a second blue source. We have 6 left in the deck. Do we go first? Oh, we do go first. Green is probably a bad matchup. I think we lost to a couple green decks. Oh my gosh, this is like playing mono blue and constructed. Oh, this is so good. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. We just need an island now, and we're just gonna be rolling in the dough. Let's attack first, of course. Play the Warden of Evo's Isle. Warden of Evo's Isle. Need an island. I need an island to get the dungeon geists in the game. Wow. This is a legitimately great deck. Island me. Oh, man. Well, we do have triple blue for that to work. Okay, so we will attack. Then we will Yarok's Wave Crasher just to get a big guy into play. And now if we draw a Plains, we can play, Plains we can play this, or this. Island we can play this. Give me an island, baby. Oh man, close. Let's just attack. We're fine trading these off, because we're just going to be winning with flyers anyway. Booyah, Herald of the Sun as a better air elemental. Let's go. Air elemental with upside. We've got him on a 2-turn clock now. If my opponent plummets me, I'm going to be sad. Oh, Ripscale Predator. How cute. That was cute with the Ripscale Predator, I must say. It made me feel funny inside. I think that was the correct play, just best. We don't have enough blue mana to really want to cast one of these, and this can't be cast, really. We could have, I guess, killed the Scuttlemutt. Chandra Outrage, sure. Not cool, bro. Heck yes. just attack with both. Then get our 2/1 guys into play and kill his Scuttlemutt. Die, Scuttlemutt. We did that in the exact wrong order. We missed out on 2 life. For no real reason at all. Wake Root Elemental, sure. I just missed lethal because I am dumb. Whoops. I had lethal on board. He had nothing up. My Metropolis Sprite was going to pump itself and win me the game. And then I cast my Dungeon Geists for the sick rub-ins. Anyway, we managed to get to 7 wins, maximum wins. We started off with a loss, then we get like a second loss around here, and then rattled off those victories. So if you did make it all the way to the end of the Flyers, say hashtag flying victory, because that was probably the best flying sealed deck you will ever see, or at least for now. That was a very good sealed deck for Flyers, like just so many Flyers. Hashtag flying victory in the comment section down below. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out more than you know. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or if you have any questions for the Q&A. If you do want to further support the channel, be sure to check out the Patreon. I do have that 1,500 word article on how to on how to splash in Limited. Yeah, but do remember to subscribe to the channel as well. That's going to do it for this video. Oh man, I'm so sorry to the patrons that it's supposed to be in the credits. I haven't set up the credits yet because I'm still resetting up this computer, getting all my stuff set up and downloaded. But thank you to all those patrons as well. I'll get that credits thing set up for the next video. Though I guess that's for draft videos, but I should put it for the sealed ones too. So I guess it's not technically up, but yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Let's open our prizes because prizes are fun. We got a second cosmetic for Scholar of the Ages because, of course. Also, just a brief tip. If you type in the store to redeem, you can type hashtag play M20, capital M, capital P, and you'll get 3 booster packs. So, yeah. Ooh, Cavalier. That's a sweet Cavalier. Maybe the best one. So good. Okie doke. We'll open our second to last pack. Starfield Mystic. And I always am curious if anybody actually watches the pack openings. So if you did watch, if you did watch all the way to this part of the video, in addition to hashtag flying victory, type hashtag Starfield Mystic, because that's the rare we got twice in a row. I'm just curious if anyone keeps watching after to see the pack opening, so let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We managed to get that 7 wins, and it was sweet, so yeah, I had a good time. And I will talk to you next time.